could win a $10,000 home theater package. If it happens twice, you could also win $1 million. Tony, good luck. It's the Edmonton Eskimos and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, the first of two at Commonwealth Stadium. We head there now and join Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.
Thank you, Rod. Yes, first meeting of the season between these two Western rivals, and it comes on the penultimate weekend of the regular season. Final home game for the Eskimos as they tackle the Roughriders. It's a critical game for the visitors in the race for first in the West.
Well, he missed the last 4 starts, but Trevor Harris took advantage of the bye week last week, and he is back in the lineup. When he was at the controls of the Edmonton offense, he was on pace for a 6,000-yard season. So Trevor Harris will start here tonight for Edmonton. And Cody Fajardo on the other sideline, just off the heels of signing a brand new contract extension, is 152 yards away from taking the lead in passing yards.
Craig Dickinson's Riders have won 10 of their last 12. They can finish first if they sweep this home and home against the green and gold. On the other sideline, Jason Moss's Eskimos will be the crossover team. They come off the bye, wrap up their home slate this evening, trying to go 6-3 on the brick field at Commonwealth. So the first game in 383 days between these two old rivals. They split last year. Roughriders won the toss, and they are going to get the ball first. Wind chill at -7 at kickoff with a northwest wind, 26 kilometers, gusting up to 46. Marcus Thigpen back with Lucas Purifoy, and Andre Prue ready to signal the game in. Here we go. Hugh O'Neill kicking things off. Purifoy directing traffic and takes it on a hop and out beyond the 35-yard line to set things up for the newly extended Cody Fajardo, who could take the league lead in passing here this evening.
Yeah, 152 yards away from taking the league lead. He's looking at leading this Saskatchewan team to the best record heading into the week since week 5 at 10-2. Overall record this year 11-5 for Saskatchewan, but he has not started against the Edmonton Eskimos. This is his first start against Edmonton.
Number 1 in victories this year among quarterbacks, number 1 in touchdown drives. And the Eskimos show pressure early. Fajardo out of the pocket, rolling to his left, and the pass incomplete. He intended for Manny Arsenault.
One change in the receiving core for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Manny Arsenault back in the starting lineup for Jordan Williams-Lambert. Williams-Lambert got 5 passes for 57. Production wasn't there, so they make the change back to the veteran. And Jacoby Cofield will start at left tackle. So Taryn Vaughn and Dakota Shepley, healthy scratches in that offensive line. They've got great depth up front, the Saskatchewan O-line.
Cofield started the first 3 games. This might have been the A lineup they would have liked to have started the year with, but didn't have Brendan Labatt. And Fajardo hit as he threw, but he makes a connection, and Kyron Moore has a first down up near midfield.
Stood in there and had the time. That O-line protected the way they're supposed to. Ended up being just 4-man pressure with a late blitzer. Fajardo did take a hit, but threaded the needle to get it there. Take a look at these 2 front fours on defense, both Saskatchewan's and Edmonton. That'll be the key to the game tonight.
17-yard connection, and now on the ground for William Powell. He gets stacked up after about a yard, maybe got to midfield in a pair against a stout defense. Number 1 in yards allowed.
Yeah, Mondo Sewell, Kwaku Boateng, and Mike Moore all tied at 8 sacks, but this is a group with 50. That's second to Saskatchewan's front in the CFL. Great middle linebackers in this game. Larry Dean has 93 defensive plays to his credit. That's up in the top 5 in the CFL, and Josh Johnson's back at the wide side corner.
15 different Eskimos with sacks this year, second and long. Fajardo again hit as he delivered. Intended for Arsenault, incomplete. And the punt team will come on.
It's going to be interesting to see how these two offenses handle the pressure. These are two great front fours, in fact front sevens. When you throw in their linebacking cores, they bring the heat. When you have Edmonton at 50 sacks, that's second in the league. Saskatchewan sits at 53 sacks, first in the league. Handling that pressure is key tonight.
John Ryan leads the league in punting, trying to get that inside the 10, and will bounce up around the 11-yard line. So they've got Edmonton backed up. Trevor Harris returns. His first start since the Labor Day rematch when we come back. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power. Well, he was the league leader in passing until he had to leave early in the Labor Day rematch against the Calgary Stampeders. And here's Trevor Harris, 5-2 in his career against Saskatchewan, back at the controls. Starting at the 11, and he's got an open target down the middle. It's Ricky Collins trying to run away, and he's inside the Saskatchewan 35-yard line. Just like that, Trevor Harris has the moving.
He's back. That quick recognition to see the bust in the coverage for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and get it to Ricky Collins, who's had pedestrian numbers with Logan Kilgore as the starting quarterback in the last 4 games for Edmonton. I'm sure he's happy to have Trevor Harris back. He put it right where he wanted it.
Collins has had 7 games under 60 yards receiving. He had 65 on that first catch. On offense for the Eskimos, there's Shaq Cooper with the carry, but it's a good start for Trevor Harris.
Well, he was on pace for a 6,000-yard season. No Eskimo has ever done that. And you take a look at the 15 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions for Harris, and that was right up to about the midway point of the season. He left in the Labor Day rematch against the Calgary Stampeders, and there's that accuracy we're used to seeing from number 7.
2nd and 4. Short drop. DeVaris Daniels the catch, a first down. Nick Marshall drops him around the 18 as we set the Edmonton offense, 2nd in yards.
5th straight year for 1,000-yard season for Greg Ellingson. They will go with Shaq Cooper in the backfield again in this one. And up front, I highlighted Matt O'Donnell because he will play against Micah Johnson a ton in this one tonight. I want to see that matchup in the trenches.
Into the red zone, which has been an Edmonton issue. They throw the hitch, and it's incomplete. Derek Moncrief there, Christian Jones, the intended receiver.
Boy, if Derek Moncrief believed there, he might have taken that one to the house. He had a jump on that throw, but let's take a look at that defensive front. There's Micah Johnson, missed last week against the BC Lions. He's back in the lineup. Solomon Elimimian is just behind Larry Dean in defensive plays. He's got 92 on the season. Coming on strong, and Lucas Purefoy was a great pickup. 8 knockdowns, leads the team. He's got 3 interceptions.
2nd and 10. Harris stands in, looking for Jones against Nick Marshall, and Marshall's got the interception.
We got a good group in the back end.
4th interception of the year for Marshall. And the Eskimos come away empty-handed. Marshall the pick, Rough Rider football. When we come back.
I feel like burning up the afternoon. It's a
Take a look at the interception again. One of the best cover guys in the league, and Nick Marshall going one-on-one on Christian Jones to the left of your screen. No pressure on Trevor Harris. He's just throwing the 50-50 ball and hoping his receiver comes down with it. I guess you just question the personnel matchup. If that's Greg Ellingson, I get it, but that's a converted returner playing wide receiver.
Just the 5th interception thrown by Harris this year. The wide side throw by Fajardo. Kyron Moore sure Kyron Moore thought forward progress had halted the play, and I guess it had. Not sure if we heard the whistle, but Moore heard something, and they'll mark it up at the 28.
Sure, I don't think he ever, well, he was never down, but he must have heard a whistle, so he just stopped.
4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6. Short drop to Jarno, and he's got a target. Naaman Roosevelt's got the catch. Excuse me, Kyron Moore up near midfield. So back-to-back grabs by Moore, who came into the game 16th in receiving.
Yeah, there's got trips to the field, the wide side of the field, and Kyron Moore is running that dig route across the middle, just finding that hole in the man-to-man look. Actually mentioned that Josh Johnson playing the wide side corner. He's actually playing the short side. Forrest Hightower was in coverage from the wide side there.
26-yard connection, first down midfield. Powell. Good run straight ahead for close to 9. Let's call it 8. 2nd and 2 for the Roughriders. William Powell, 3rd in the league, and now back over 1,000 yards. Remember, against BC, hit 1,000, then lost 3, but for the 2nd time this season, he hits 1,000, and I think he's there to stay.
Well, the running game's coming on for Saskatchewan in the back half of the season. They're now up to 116 yards per game, which is 3rd in the CFL, led by William Powell.
Evans in motion. Back to Powell inside. Nothing doing. Armando Sewell shuts the door.
Well, he is so tough to move out of the middle. Again, back to the emphasis on the front fours for both of these teams. They're going to make their share of plays, and that's one of them. And it's Armando Sewell here that's going to take on the double team here from Dan Clark and Brendan Labatt and just cut through it. Help from a teammate off the edge, but he's tough to move.
Offense staying on the field. It's 3rd and, well, we'll call it 2. They have to get inside that 45-yard line, and Powell's not going to get there. Fajardo and Powell dropped in the backfield, and Armando Sewell makes an early statement. Fourth time this year, the Roughriders have been stuffed on a 3rd down gamble, and getting hauled down is Cody Fajardo. Just a reminder how dominant a season Trevor Harris was having until he left the game early in that rematch against the Stampeders.
Well, he's at 1,100-yard lead on Bethel Thompson at that point. Again, on pace for 6,000, but that touchdown interception ratio outstanding. Best in the league.
Out 6 weeks, he's 4th in the league in passing.
Here they come.
Stands in, delivers, and Tavon Smith comes back for the ball. Came back against L.J. McCray to make the catch. It's a 32-yarder. So the second chunk play early for Edmonton.
Full blitz, so Trevor Harris knows he can't get them all blocked up. There's a couple coming around the edge, and he'll take a hit to get it out there. Give his receiver a chance against pretty good coverage, but Tavon Smith wins the battle.
And Harris already over 100 yards passing. 8.5 minutes in. Jack Cooper straight ahead. 2nd level, and the safety might get him, has to bring him down. Another Edmonton 1st down.
Well, last game for Shaq Cooper, his 2nd start, 18 touches, just shy of 100 yards, had a nice 5.2-yard average. Got great quickness, vision, and speed in the hole.
13-yard burst there. Third game start for Cooper. Back in the red zone. And it's Calvin McCarty. McCarty down to the 11-yard line. He's got 5.
Both these quarterbacks have been hitting the hand or arm on the passing side. That last deep throw to Devon Smith, this is Trevor Harris trying to get back to the huddle after the catch. He's going to take a look at that right hand, the passing hand. It doesn't look like the same injury. He's just kind of taking a look and trying to shake it off. We saw Cody Fajardo go through it as well. Similar situation a couple of plays ago.
2nd and 5 and a 5-receiver package with Cooper in the backfield, and now Natea Jay stays in the block, and the look for Ellingson, and a pass interference call. Ed Geedy with the push on the intended target, and a PI call against the veteran Ed Geedy.
Cameron Judge was on his way on the blitz, and Trevor Harris
defensive pass interference. Saskatchewan number 11. The foul occurred. The foul occurred in goal. The ball will be placed at the 1-yard line. First down.
So with blitz coming, Harris is going to take the chance on the 50-50 ball. There's Cameron Judge, number 4, right in the middle of your screen. Delayed blitz right through the middle. So he's got to let that go. And this is a better matchup in the 50-50 when you get Greg Ellingson out there, not Christian Jones. And that's not a shot at Jones. He's just a converted returner. This is a true big play receiver, 1,000-yard receiver.
Look at Almondo Sewell in as a fullback, leads the blocking. Touchdown, Edmonton. Number 90 paves the way. First touchdown of the year for Calvin McCarty. Not sure we've seen big Almondo Sewell in that formation this year.
Well, we've seen how hard it is to move Almondo Sewell on defense. How well does he move Micah Johnson on offense? That's a good matchup.
John White adds the convert, and the Eskimos have a 7-0 lead. So points off the turnover on downs. And Calvin McCarty punches it in with Trevor Harris back at the controls.
With Safeway's My CFL Family Contest, your family could be headed to the Grey Cup. Win one of 2 VIP Grey Cup family experiences, including flights, hotel, and pregame.
Get the 2020 Nissan Rogue with available.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. You know, for Trevor.
Since 2016. First touchdown in a couple of seasons for Calvin McCarty. His first rushing touchdown since 2016. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Ryan Rashog.
All right, Chris, thanks a lot. You know, for Trevor Harris, rehabbing this injury of his in his elbow was something unique that he'd never been through before. He likened it to feeling like Spider-Man that couldn't shoot his webs at all. It was driving him nuts. A quarterback that can't throw a football. He was climbing the walls. You know, Trevor Harris is a guy that's played through a lot of injuries through his career. You know, dating back to when he was younger, he's played through separated shoulders. He returned from one in 3 weeks. He did an MCL sprain and a high ankle sprain all in one play, returned in 3 weeks. He's used to being able to grind his way through these injuries. This was not one that he could do that, guys. He couldn't spiral a football for weeks on end, and it was driving him nuts. It tested his patience. He wanted to play last week. They held him out, and this week he's back, and they feel like he's got little chance of re-injuring it, given all the time they've let him heal.
Some concern early on whether or not we would see him back in the lineup this year.
Well, there is a little bit of a risk here with the Edmonton Eskimos, you know, not being able to advance in the standings at all. They're the crossover team and will play Montreal. So, you know, some discussion as to whether or not they should rest Trevor Harris one more week. Yeah, I think with the way this team has sort of been up and down and struggling of late, they want their leader back in there. And if he's healthy and ready to go, I don't blame Jason Moss or Trevor Harris at all for getting back in there. You feel it, and self-doubt creeps in when the game is taken away from you.
Riders start to the 35. They pitch to the speedy Marcus Thigpen. And the tightrope down the sidelines. And Marcus Thigpen, 33 years of age, but man, he can still turn it up.
Yeah, he's had a sort of an average season really for his standards, because he is that big play guy. He gets some nice blocking at the line of scrimmage from Jacoby Cofield. Look, he's got the corner, and then he can use his speed. I mean, and now it's a sprint, and if you take the wrong angle as a DB against Marcus Thigpen, you're in trouble.
And runs of 82 and 80 yards last year for a touchdown. 18 there, and they hand it back to him. Goes across midfield.
So early on, Cody Fajardo got hit by Armando Sewell after throwing a pass. This was a couple of series ago. I mentioned Trevor Harris checking out his right hand. Check out Cody Fajardo after this hit. Looked right, trying to shake that off. Not sure if that was a forearm or just his hand. Looks like he's okay, though. They've run 2 running plays back to back here.
Thigpen stays in. 2nd and 6. And Fajardo sends it deep and incomplete, intended for Naaman Roosevelt.
But the hand and the arm look fine. I mean, that was a throw that was a little off, a little high for Naaman Roosevelt, but didn't look like he struggled throwing it. Big contract signed this week. 2-year extension, and now has the keys to the car in Saskatchewan.
Christian Jones drops back. Eskimos haven't had a big play return in 9 games. A shank here from John Ryan. That's a rare miss hit, and it goes out of bounds for a penalty, and that'll hurt the best average in the league that was over 50 yards, a punt.
Rear Intelligent Emergency Braking. Innovative technology designed to help keep your family safe. Available in the Nissan Rogue.
Well, a short punt and the penalty for kicking it out of bounds, so almost like a turnover on downs here as the Eskimos will take over at their own 44. So the punt 19 yards, net 9. First down Edmonton. Shaq Cooper, nothing there. Mac Henry was in the hole, and Mike Adam will finish him off.
Yeah, I mentioned the front fours of both these teams, but they have outstanding middle linebackers. There's Larry Dean for Edmonton, and Solomon Elamimi. I mean, there's a 2014 MOP, who's also a Rookie of the Year, 2-time defensive player. He's at 82 tackles. 2-time East All-Star Larry Dean hasn't played in the league as long as Solomon, but 2 great tackle-to-tackle open field tacklers at middle linebacker. We're going to ISO those guys a little bit tonight for you.
2nd down underneath Devon Smith. LG McCray comes up to make the quick stop and hold him short of a first down.
Last game for Saskatchewan, Solomon Elamimian racked up 9 defensive tackles in that one, and if he continues at that pace for the last 2 games against Edmonton, he'll get to 100 tackles again. Just been the standard at the position pretty much for his entire career, 10 years in the Canadian Football League. Missed the first few games of the season for Saskatchewan, coming off injury, but he is back in a big way and leading that group.
Thigpen's dropped back. Hugh O'Neill to punt. Outside the numbers and down at the 15 where Thigpen gets tossed down. Maxime Rouet down to make the special teams tackle. Cody Fajardo, as we mentioned, a new 2-year contract extension, and that gives him a feeling of security.
I don't think it puts any more pressure on me than I already have. You know, being a Rough Rider quarterback, there's already plenty of pressure just because of all the, you know, the fans and all the buzz that it creates. But for me to go out there, I just love playing football. I love this football team. I love those guys in that locker room and going out there and playing 110%. And we got a goal that we want to achieve, and that's to win the 2019 Grey Cup. And for us, yeah, it's nice for me to have this contract, but I don't want to look into the future. We got a great football team right now in the present. I want to be where my feet's at, and I want to be able to have some fun with it.
Flag down, pass was intercepted, but it was whistled dead. Like the Eskimos jumped.
You know, and with
Legal
the new
procedure.
contract.
Saskatchewan number 19. This is a 5-yard penalty.
Oh.
You're going to repeat first down.
Corey Watson, so play stop, fortunately for the Rough Riders.
With the new contract, nothing really changes. I mean, Cody Fajardo continues to do what he does, prepares the same way. Nothing changes in that regard, although it's done and signed, sealed, delivered before the playoffs begin, so there's no chance of it becoming a distraction the most important time of the season.
First and 15, look out! He dropped the ball! And they stretch out. They're going to mark the Eskimos down at the 1. Fajardo cops it up, and Mike Moore vacuumed it up for the Eskimos. And you wonder, again, we saw the hand a little earlier. Is that an issue?
Let's take a look, because did he get it slapped? Yeah, it's knocked out of there by Don Unamba, and he's scooped up after that by Moore.
Unamba, the forced fumble, his second of the year, and Mike Moore with his second recovery. Eskimos had not had points off turnovers in the last 3 games. They have 7 already and are knocking at the door, looking for another 7.
Big 90's back there again.
They give it to McCarty. Touchdown again. Well, they're going to let Belmondo spike the ball, so they're going to need a new football.
Yeah, the big man got a good push up front this time, or at least he led the way from McCartney. He's number 9. He's coming right at you. You know, even if he gets in the hole and doesn't allow any pursuit to cross his face, it's opening up space for the tailback, or in this case, the fullback in Kelvin McCarty.
Well, if they get down there enough times, sooner or later, 90's going to carry it, won't he?
I think so.
Sean White adds the convert. Calvin McCarty had not rushed the football this year, but the 13-year veterans hit the end zone twice here in the opening quarter. So we're through 15 minutes, a big opening quarter for the home side. Elmondo Sewell putting an exclamation mark on the end of the opening quarter.
Is a game changer and a time saver.
Our country is here. The music
of these two teams.
Rough Riders 3 turnovers in the last 5 games, but a costly pair here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, in the last 5 games, they were plus 10, and they've got 2 turnovers turning into points here in this first quarter, so that's the difference. But, you know, last night we saw the return of Zach Collaros, and it was great to see him back, and congratulations on his return and the Winnipeg win. Tonight it's the Trevor Harris return, and I think he looks real good in that first quarter.
And when Trevor Harris looks good, so do the Eskimos, because we know how good they are on defense, and they're certainly showing that in the first quarter of play.
Well, he could change field position. I mean, he hit that deep ball right out of the gate. Changes field position immediately, and that gives your defense a whole bunch to chew on. They enjoy that. But that turnover story in the first quarter, really the difference for Saskatchewan. They were real good at it. In fact, they went a 3-game stretch in that 5-game group that we just talked about without a turnover. 3 straight games with 0 turnovers.
Iroquois on the return brings it back to the 35, and Cody Fajardo goes back to work trying to crack the code of this this high-pressure Edmonton Eskimo defense.
Well, it's a great D, and it has been even when they've struggled. You know, Logan Kilgore was 2-2 and had his issues at quarterback when Trevor Harris was out, but their defense really didn't waver. They've been first or second in most of the major categories, and Saskatchewan's defense is up there as well. So, as I mentioned earlier, the front sevens for both of these teams are going to determine the outcome.
Philip Lawley loves to dial up the heat. Fajardo throws a strike there. Got Kyron Moore, has been his favorite target so far today, up around the 51-yard line. So a 16-yard connection. And Moore, the only Rough Rider receiver so far.
Had to throw it over the rush there, so an accurate throw, because Fajardo had to adjust his throwing motion to get it around the rush.
4 catches, 63 yards for Kyron Moore. First down, and now Moore on the jet. Kyron Moore turns the corner. Another first down into Edmonton territory. Down inside the 45-yard line.
Kyron Moore has been the #1 guy so far tonight for Saskatchewan, whether it be in the passing game or he's right over here. He's going to run that sweep all the way around the edge. They got him involved. Another way to get him the football. And good blocking out front to Kobe Cofield. Notice him getting the edge a couple of times. And look at Naaman Roosevelt down helping out William Powell and Shaq Evans picking up their men downfield. If you're a young receiver watching, it's not all just about getting your name in the paper and catching touchdowns. It looks Shaq Evans a little
Shaq
bit.
Evans down, getting some attention to the left ankle. Eskimos leading receiver, 5th in the league, getting attention. Will step aside early second quarter. Final week of the CFL regular season kicks off Friday Night Football. The Alouettes, who will play host to the Eskimos in the Eastern semifinal, look to build momentum heading into that playoff game against the Red Blacks. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific only on TSN. So Evans on the limp. 1st and 10. Fajardo over the middle and almost intercepted.
Fajardo's pass intended.
Larry Dean got a hand on it.
Kyron Moore. And bobbled
and almost came up with his first pick of the year.
Show blitz here for Larry Dean. He's hiding in the line of scrimmage, and then he's going to go from there and drop right out. When he does, he gets right in the passing lane. Fajardo thinks it's a blitz, so he wants to get rid of the ball immediately, and he almost throws it right to number 11.
So 2nd and 10. Watson stays in the block and look for Moore again off his fingertip. Incomplete. Brian Walker was there. And the drive stalls.
Yeah, this is all about the D-line, though, for the Edmonton Eskimos. And I don't think Cody's been comfortable in the pocket all game so far. I mean, whether it's a blitz or 4-man pressure, he's just had to rush his throws. Kyron Moore couldn't hang on to that last one, but he's been the #1 target so far tonight.
Well, John Ryan to punt on 3rd down. Will look for the pin. Christian Jones awaits inside the 5. Run up on this one, fielded at the 16. And flags fly.
Return takes it to about the 17-yard line.
Should be a 15-yard, no yards, cut it in the air.
So Trevor Harris back just in the nick of time for Jason Moss and the Eskimos.
We could afford our time to wait, and we had confidence that Logan could go in there and do the job, and he did. And now that allowed us now to just say, hey, if you're not ready coming off our bye week, we'll wait some more. But ultimately he was, and that 2 extra weeks helped tremendously.
Yeah, Edmonton with just 2 wins in their last 7. Kilgore was 2-2. So was progressing as the backup to Trevor Harris. So I get it. There is some risk though. I mean, but this is the home game, their last game in the regular season in Saskatchewan.
Christian Jones is down, and indication from the field is that this is not good, and if you're squeamish, you may not want to watch.
He caught it in the air, and that put him right into the hit. Like that entire wall was coming down on him, and the knee just buckled underneath.
The former Rough Rider going to get some attention. We'll step out for a moment.
One of these two teams.
Go to the front line with the nation's team of firefighters putting their lives on the line in an all-new Hellfire Heroes. Tuesdays at 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, only on Discovery. And let's go to the sidelines. Ryan Rashog has 2 special guests.
Yeah, a couple stars of the show, Chris. Thanks a lot, Chief Jamie Coots and his son, Lieutenant Ryan Coots. You guys worked together on the show. Season 1 was a big hit. Ryan, give us a sense for some of what you faced in Season 2 and what people might see you guys take on.
Yeah, you had lots of wildfires. I think there's going to be some really cool calls that come across on Season 2. We got some good fires, and we're looking forward to it.
Jamie, you're a dad, but you're also a boss. I wonder what it's like for you to send your boy out on calls that at times can be dangerous. As first responders, you guys always face a certain amount of danger.
Yeah, I think, going out on the calls, we know what could happen. It's my kid. It's a little heightened level, but you worry about everyone. They're all like my kids, so I like it at work. I can boss them around. At home, not so much.
Well, guys, the show is Tuesdays at 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It was a big success in Season 1. Looking forward to Season 2. On top of television stars, you guys are also first responders, so thanks for everything you do, and good luck with Season 2, guys.
Great, thank you.
All right, Chris?
Yeah, we do salute those guys.
Yeah, awesome show, and thanks for being the guys that run in when everyone's running out, and the job they do every day. But, that Discovery Channel, man, it gets me every time. It's the one channel on the dial, other than TSN, that when I'm going through, it's Shark Week, and that's must-see. I mean, you got that's must-see TV, or it's one of these shows. The Crab Show is awesome. I'm watching that one all the time. Deadliest Catch, I think that one's called. And
this might be the longest promo ever.
And Discovery Channel, man.
Here's O'Neill after that big play by A.C. Leonard to force the punt. Thigpen back inside his 30 and not going anywhere. The downfield cover led again by Maxime Rouet. Couple of special team tackles here today.
Well, they took Christian Jones off the field and are working on him right down on the sideline. I guess that's the good news. He hasn't gone straight to the locker room, although it didn't look good. He didn't put any weight on it. So
while the ball was in the air, holding Saskatchewan number 43. 10-yard penalty from where possession was gained. First down, Saskatchewan.
Like Tights flagged on the play.
Looks like he might be out for at least the rest of the first half as they reassess it. Likely longer here, but Tavon Smith will play that wideout spot on offense for him.
We'll see how they handle the return duties without Christian Jones. Rough Riders start at their own 20. Fajardo just got it away. Evans is open at midfield. And finally hauled down at the 45-yard line by the safety, Jordan Hoover.
So here's the first report. Shaq Evans is okay and back in the lineup. He's the wideout. And who slipped? Is it Forrest Hightower? Oh, he bites on the inside move and then just falls down. There's the bust. Fajardo recognizes it, gets it to his #1 target.
60-yard play. They flip the field. First down at the 45. Swing it near side. Look out. Kyron Moore. Pasted by Brian Walker.
This defense is so aggressive here in Edmonton that, to beat them, you're going to have to do some double moves. like we just saw from Shaq Evans, because they are going to come downhill in a hurry, and if you do that, you pump fake that screen and go deep, you can get it done. The problem with it is they can get pressure with just 4. So you don't necessarily have the time to pump fake and run a double move.
At front 4, the starters have combined for 30 sacks. Underneath it goes, and Moore cuts it back.
See Larry Dean?
And dropped at the 42-yard line. Larry Dean on the scene.
Larry Dean just flying around. That ball was thrown, I don't know, 30 yards from where he lines up. But that's what the great ones do. They are constantly pursuing the football.
Hard to gauge the wind here. John Ryan's going to come out to punt, so they won't try a 49-yard field goal. It's like a crosswind for the most part, but if at all, the Roughriders are into it in this second quarter.
Taekwon Glass is a returner. He's got a decision to make if he gets it inside the 10. He doesn't catch it cleanly.
And a little less experience back there to make that quick decision. Ryan bounces it.
Oh, touchdown, it's live.
That is a loose ball down at the goal line. Who came up with it? Looks like the Eskimos got on it, but a free ball after it hit an Eskimo. Now, was there a Saskatchewan Roughrider
in the no-yard zone?
In the no-yard zone of where it hit the Eskimo. And the flag is down.
That may just bail out Edmonton on this, because it looked like Taekwon Glass is going to play that.
Saskatchewan number 28,
yeah,
a 5-yard penalty and a first down Edmonton.
So Purifoy called on the no yards. Hard to hold him here as the ball bounces off Buddy Hunter's helmet. Luka got on it, but it is Edmonton ball.
Monopoly Coast to Coast.
It's not just the field, and it's not just the fans. Mosaic Stadium is about family. Game day tickets on sale now.
Riders have won 6 straight at home, trying to nail down a home playoff berth and trying to nail down first in the West, but trailing here 14-0. And I think we can hear Calgary fans cheering for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, this is really weird, because last night Saskatchewan fans were cheering for Winnipeg. Tonight, Calgary fans are cheering for Edmonton.
Strange,
which is just the up is down. No, that's not right. But yeah, I mean, Saskatchewan wins too. They take first in the division. We'll have that Western final at Mosaic Stadium. You got work to do here to get it done in game 1 against Edmonton.
Yeah, inherited the hammer last night with the Winnipeg win, but the Eskimos trying to give it back to Calgary with a win here. Shaq Cooper with that little jab step.
That's right.
Has a first down.
That's right, because if Edmonton wins this one, and now Saskatchewan wins that, let's say they win the final game against Edmonton, Calgary would have the hammer. They win against BC in their final game. They have the season series against the Riders, so they'll take first in the division.
First down Eskimos at the 22. Trevor Harris with 124 yards of passing offense so far. Has some time as Ellingson at about the 36-yard line, driven back by McRae. But a little more breathing room for this Edmonton offense.
First down, Eskimos.
Ellingson plays so well against both coverage looks. I mean, that little check step that he ran when he ran his route was enough to buy some time and open it up so Trevor Harris could drop it in there.
61st consecutive game with a catch for Ellingson. 6th in the league in receiving. Cooper upended inside. A.C. Leonard tripped him up behind the line of scrimmage.
Another 1,000-yard season for Greg Ellingson. 1,094 coming in tonight and counting. And there are his consecutive 1,000-yard seasons for the Ottawa Red Blacks.
And that's pretty good company.
Absolutely. Absolutely. G. Roy Simon, the last guy to do that.
And that last catch was his 80th of the year. Second and a little more than 10. Harris underneath, and that's not going anywhere. Cameron Judge unloads on Ellingson, and the Eskimos will have to kick it away.
Big tackle by Judge, but again, you know, that Ellingson, all those 1,000-yard seasons with Trevor Harris, he's inside this time, Ellingson, and he's going to run the crossing route and gets hit by the guy that I believe is likely the Canadian nominee as outstanding Canadian player for Saskatchewan. He's had an outstanding season, 5 sacks, 56 defensive tackles. There's another defensive play and tackle to add to his totals, and a guy who is still on the teams, the cover teams, and I always want to make mention of that because it is so difficult to cover a punt. He's got 12 special teams tackles. Cover a punt, and then within 20 seconds get back and play defense.
Saw him celebrate the tackle, but he has gone back down on the turf and is getting attention.
Yeah, he missed one game, so he's been a little banged up of late, but outstanding season for the former first-round draft pick.
Number 11 in defensive plays. Micah Tights will, in all likelihood, come on to take his spot if he can't return for the next series.
Just did his inventory. Sometimes you got to do that. You feel something on a hit or a tackle. You feel something happen, and you just take inventory. Ankle's okay, knee's okay. Check, check. Right knee, yep, okay. Got my breath again. All right, we're good to go.
So O'Neill to punt. And Marcus Thigpen back at the Rough Rider 25. Line drive. Thigpen. Big hit. Pop. Just before he got to the 40-yard line. Big contact down there, and the tackle made by Tanner Green. Here's Ryan Rashog.
Talking with Cody Fajardo, one of the things he's had to learn, guys, is that playing the game with a little bit of self-preservation is not selfish. He's kind of understanding his importance to the team. New 2-year contract. He's a franchise guy. Earlier on this year, he wanted to gain every yard he could. Took every hit that came his way to gain those yards. His teammates started to give him a little bit of heck. He realizes his importance, and he knows he's got to pick his spots. With his competitive edge, he likes to get every yard he possibly can, guys.
Hasn't had a run today. A flag comes down at the end of that play. Roosevelt the catch up at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, he felt like he took a late hit there.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 12. A 15-yard penalty enforced from the end of the play. First down.
Forrest Hightower flag.
Now with the player down like that, all you have to do is touch him to be down by contact. You don't have to take a shot with him down and surrender.
Suits, we're 25 minutes in. That's the first Eskimo penalty of the game.
It's been an issue, and Jason Moss addressed it. We'll see what happens tonight, but that was an avoidable one for sure.
But moves the ball into Edmonton territory. Fajardo's got time. He's going to launch, going deep. For Evans, got it inside the 5. Shaq Evans wins the battle against Josh Johnson.
One-on-one with Josh Johnson. He's the only receiver outside, but he can get downhill motion and be hitting it on the fly because they played with the tight end. So they've covered the tackle. Formation is correct. Now Josh Johnson felt like he got pushed a little bit there. No flag on the play, and inside position from Shaq Evans.
Josh Johnson livid, trying to get the attention of the sidelines to challenge that. I think we're going to get a challenge from the Eskimos. Harris. And it's first and goal. Ball snapped, handed off to Thigpen. Goal line touchdown.
I know that Jason Moss was thinking about it. He was up and down that sideline wondering about throwing the challenge flag. It is early. If you're going to do it in the first half, you want to make sure you can win it and get another one. And if they're close and you have to see a clear and obvious mistake made, I think it was the correct call to not throw the pass interference flag, and Saskatchewan gets that quick run play in to get it across the goal line.
Second rushing touchdown of the year for Thigpen.
It's just the beginning. That's the beginning, baby.
I wonder when he's going to have a breakout game.
The game just started.
3 carries, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Set up by that 47-yarder. And he told you it's just getting started here. So they cut the lead in half. 14-7.
They're giving you a halo, so they stop. First step is you right now. I'm telling you.
Take another look at Shaq Evans and his downhill motion here. Well, this is unique to Canadian football when you can, as a wide receiver, be running towards the line of scrimmage, little inside post move. Now, Josh Johnson's in pretty good position, but because Evans is in between his quarterback and the defender, kind of like blocking out for a rebound in basketball, he wins the play.
Just good positioning.
Yeah, exactly. Just get that body position in there, and then Thigpen finishes it off with a good surge off the right side. He takes on Larry Dean and gets there.
Interesting. Thigpen with 3 carries, 25 yards in the major. William Powell, 3 carries, 9 yards.
Yeah, well, maybe that was a little code word there from Thigpen telling us that it's just getting started, because he's a big part of this game plan against Edmonton tonight. A couple plays for him already.
With a big play, 47-yarder, set it up. Roughriders back in it, short kickoff there. And return back across the 40-yard line. So good field position for Trevor Harris with 3:22 to go in this opening half.
Well, Ryan mentioned on the sideline about his elbow injury, and for a long time I thought it might have been forearm. It was kept pretty quiet by the organization as to exactly the injury of Trevor Harris, but elbow on his passing arm. So coming out of the bye, I haven't seen any hesitation. He's thrown a couple of deep balls that have been very accurate. Looks like he's right back on the saddle.
3 400-yard plus passing games earlier this season. Big to Cooper on a roll. Anybody open? And he bounced that in front of Ellingson. Incomplete.
Well, you know, we go back with Trevor Harris to the injury happening in Winnipeg, as Ryan reported. Winnipeg was before the back-to-backs against Calgary Stampeders on Labor Day and the Labor Day rematch. You go back to the 4 games before they played Calgary. Trevor Harris was averaging 387 yards a game in those 4 where he was healthy. That's how much his offense was clicking with him healthy.
140 yards so far tonight, 8 of 11. Has some time, has caught, but Bureau steps up to limit Ricky Collins' gain. He'll be 3 yards short of a first down, and the punt team will come on.
And that will bring up third down now for the Eskimos.
So the 3-minute warning given to the benches here. Edmonton with a 14-7 lead.
Oh, yes, Halloween's close, but halftime is even closer, just 3 minutes away, and the Eskimos still lead. One of these teams need this win a lot more than the other, but you wouldn't have known it early on. We'll talk about the turnovers, the pressure, and Cody Vajaro. 7-11 player rankings. Look at the top candidates for top rookie as well. Let's go back to Chris and Glenn.
Good stuff, Rod. Look forward to that. 2:36 away. Roughriders getting the ball back here as Hugh O'Neill gets set to punt to Marcus Thigpen. Ducks inside his 20. Trying to get to the edge, but can't turn the corner. So just over 2 minutes left for Cody Fajardo in the first half, and with that big strike to Shaq Evans, he has taken the league lead in passing here in the second last game of the regular season.
And has 2:14 here to at least get into field goal range and close the gap in what is a very important game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Still with a chance to win the division.
In a sense, Fajardo, the last quarterback standing this year. He's in trouble here, but skips away and now throws to Powell. William Powell with a cutback, and he's dropped it around the 43-yard line.
He is king at this blind spin move to escape. He has to spill the pocket and spin out because they're coming off the edge, the Edmonton Eskimos, and they got two there. It looks like he's going to be in big trouble. Comes right down the middle. First of all, he spins under that one with an edge player that had contained.
Usher,
yeah. Usher on the outside, and he got outside of his angle.
Well, he's good for that spin move once a game, isn't he? That pass incomplete. Evans in the area, and he got tied up with the defender, and Josh Johnson's upset again that there was no flag. He and Evans are in a battle here tonight.
I agree with you on that spin move. He'll use it 1 or 2 times a game, and it works very well. And it's a reminder to defensive ends or that edge player, if it's a linebacker, that you have to stay on the high shoulder of the quarterback. That means the shoulder further closest to his own goal line. You cut underneath, you're going to get beat on that spin.
2nd and 10. Pocket closing, and he is going to get dropped. Don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage. Let's go down to the sidelines. Here's Ryan.
Yeah, talking to his head coach about that spin move. You know, they say it's something that they, definitely want to get him away from doing. One of the things they're working on with him is not flooding the pocket so quickly. They found in previous games he's maybe been vacating when he senses pressure. They want to work him through a few more reads. It's something they've been working on, guys. So as agile as he is, they want to see him hang in there just a touch longer.
Ruling that Fajardo got back to the line of scrimmage, gained 1, so no sack for Elmondo Sewell on that last play, but they do have to punt the football away. And it might be Edmonton with the last touch here in the first half. Line drive on a hop for Taekwon Class, and Brian Bennett holding on to swing Glass to the turf. There's the number 3 quarterback who also does great work on the special teams for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and it's great to be able to do that when you have an athlete like Bennett at quarterback, and you can put him on the punt cover team, because if you ever want to run a fake, you got a quarterback there to throw it.
Remember, Jordan Lynch did that with the Eskimos a few years back. Bennett filling the role. And now 70 seconds remaining in this first half. The Eskimos enjoying a touchdown lead.
Plenty of time for field goal range.
Collins against Nick Marshall. Gets the first down, gets out of bounds.
This is where those quick throws are so valuable, because as a DB right now, you don't want to give up a big long strike for a touchdown, so you're going to give a little bit more room. The corners will back off another step and a half.
Collins 3 catches, 82 yards.
See Nick Marshall down here, he's just giving a little bit more room.
4-man rush, Harris over the middle. And they've got a first down in Saskatchewan territory. Ellingson and McCray seem to have something going. It didn't take long for this rivalry to heat up.
Well, and now they're thinking, forget field goal range. There's a chance to put a major on the board. If you're an Edmonton Eskimo, you're thinking that right now after that catch.
Third of the half for Ellingson. 20-yard connection. First down at the 48. Swing it to the near side. Cooper makes a man miss. It's Shaq Cooper. Look at that little stutter step, and he's out of bounds with a first down at the 35. Well, he impresses you with his quickness, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's that quick change of direction that is so good. I mean, he's caught in the backfield here by Purifoy, and then a couple of riders run into each other. One, Solomon Elamimian. That's making something out of nothing for Shaq Cooper. And not running out of bounds until he gets a couple extra.
13 and a first down to the 35, so in Sean White range. And the slant caught. Devon Smith has another first down to the Saskatchewan 17.
Yeah, you just can't get too tight on these plays. You just got to play off. If you're LJ McCray up there, if you get too tight and you start jumping those and they throw one behind you. Now I know probably Saskatchewan fans say, well, they're moving down the field anyway. You might as well step up and try and make a play.
4 plays, 4 consecutive first downs. And underneath it goes. Natea J. He gets to the sidelines, does. Moncrief was there along with AC Leonard. 16 seconds remaining.
Yeah, they both played that very well, sort of inside out. The wide guy, I believe, was AC Leonard on the play, and he made sure he stayed there, so they basically viced him.
It'll be 2nd and 9. Edmonton with 241 yards in the first half.
Edmonton.
Eskimos take their timeout. Roughriders have 223 net yards. A pretty good battle here in the first half between Trevor Harris and Cody Fajardo.
Well, Trevor here with 13 seconds can take a shot. Want to make sure they have the right play, a green zone play. Get their best play, get it right, get the matchups they want, and then be efficient with it so they don't waste any time and make sure they have time to kick the field goal if they don't complete it. Now, you know, you're in the green zone, you're this deep. Jason Shivers could send blitz. Put his DBs in man-to-man like you would normally.
2nd and 9 from the 16. Harris 209 passing yards in the opening half. And goes back underneath. That'll be incomplete. Would have been short of the first down to Ajay. And they'll settle for a Sean White field goal attempt.
Yeah, now you take the points for sure.
Talked about taking mental reps each week, and wasn't worried about rust. We haven't seen much of it this first half, have we?
No, he looks good and made all the throws. This guy's been on a roll. 24 straight field goals. Over 90% on the season.
23 out, automatic for Sean White. It's a 10-point lead here late in the opening half. And that's the 26th consecutive field goal for Sean White against Saskatchewan. Ram at the half coming your way momentarily.
Long day for those guys, and you know there's a couple of relatively new guys on the panel for us.
They get triple time though, don't they?
Yeah, and what I don't think they remember is that when we have them come on with us like they did a few minutes ago, we can hear them before they actually come on the air. And Rod talks about his upcoming halftime break, so we know that there was some bad singing going on in the studio. Bad in a good way,
to take the D one more time and see what the boys can sing about in the halftime here. Pretty interesting. First half, 17-7 for the Eskimos. Here's Rod Smith.
Thank you.
Craig, a little extra time to spend with your team during a delayed halftime. What was your message to them?
Yeah, I mean, I just told them, hey, they're not going to give us anything. We got to go out and take it. You know, that was a bad first half for us. We did not play up to our standard, and our guys know that. hopefully we'll play better in the second half.
What's the element that was missing in your mind that you'd like to see injected in this second half?
I just don't think we played with any emotion that first half. I felt like we were worried about maybe the wind and the cold, and we let them get a couple of big plays on us early. So I just want us to play our game, win, lose, or draw, and hopefully we play better.
Thanks, Craig.
You bet.
And great comments, and you know the coach hated saying what he just said.
Well, and it echoes what the panel just discussed. I mean, they talked about that the intensity just wasn't there, and maybe subconsciously this Saskatchewan team thought Edmonton had nothing to play for. They just kind of handed over to them, and that's certainly not the case. It wasn't in the first half. I think Edmonton won the line of scrimmage, and that's both on offense and defense. We've mentioned off the top that the best front seven on defense tonight probably wins the game, and in that first half, Edmonton won it.
And it has been a reminder with Trevor Harris at the controls, a defense we know that can be a daunting one. Jason Moss's team is going to be dangerous going into the postseason, even if they are in that crossover role, which we have seen not have a lot of success over the years.
Yeah, what is that? There's
Eskimos 2-1, the West 4-7 in the initial
4-7 it was,
crossover.
Yeah. 4-7, and that's since '96.
The Roughriders going to get the ball first in the second half. 241 net yards for Edmonton, 221 for Saskatchewan.
Football fans will be happy to know that I didn't find a guitar, so there'll be no singing in the second half. Although I'm going to learn some Keith Urban songs for Grey Cup.
You don't think we should leave that to Keith?
Yeah, no, he could have it. He's gonna rock the house. I can't wait for that.
So Neal kicks it off, underway with Purifoy on that short kickoff, across the 35 and then driven back. Teams have been good so far for the Eskimos tonight, and here comes Cody Fajardo, 10 of 16, 183. No touchdown passes, no interceptions in that opening 30 minutes.
Yeah, but you know that it's also a sign of which team has more intense, has that level of intensity that you need when you watch the teams. And the Edmonton Eskimos have had an edge in that game, in that regard tonight.
Jack Evans had the biggest play of the first half for Saskatchewan, a 47-yard catch that set up the touchdown. Play action fake. Kyron Moore was the busiest Saskatchewan receiver. He gets things kick-started in the second half with a first down catch across midfield. That's his 7th reception of the game.
Yeah, it seems to be the matchup that they're going to, is to get the ball to Kyron Moore. First half, he was very productive and quick slant to get things started in this second.
7th catch, that's a season high for him. And 87 yards on that 21-yard connection. First down at midfield, and it's William Powell. Not much.
William Powell.
Driven down by Javon Santos Knox in his second start at that weak side linebacker spot.
Yeah, Edmonton's defense got better with the addition of Santos Knox. Vontae Diggs still will rotate through. I mentioned Larry Dean already tonight. All-star at middle.
Second down, the slant caught by Roosevelt, but upended by Josh Johnson short of the first down. Maybe a decision here for Craig Dickinson. It's going to be third and, well, let's see where they spot it. Third and about 1.5 yards, so a decent spot.
Yeah, I didn't like the first half decision. It was about the same place on the field, maybe a little bit deeper, and a full 2 yards decided to go. That was the first turnover for Saskatchewan in the first half.
And this is a full 2 as we resurvey it. But they're in a fake mode here.
Going
Ryan Bennett out of the gun.
Well, it could be an onside
or
punt
onside.
Too. Yeah.
They've got 3.
These guys are onside, so they can recover the ball as long as they're behind John Ryan when he kicks it.
They're going to take the time count.
Time count violation. Saskatchewan number 9. This is a 5-yard penalty. It will remain third down.
Edmonton was prepared for it and had every man covered down.
So they back it up 5. It doesn't really impact John Ryan. Taekwon Class is back. Ryan will look to pin him inside the 10 if he can. Fielded at the 11. Going to call no yards. The 15-yard variety. Roughriders got inside that halo. And that'll improve the Eskimo field position for their first possession, second half.
No yards. Number 6, Saskatchewan.
Tangerine Raptors basketball continues Wednesday. Former coach Dwayne Casey and the Pistons visit Toronto to take on the Raptors. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. And you know who travels well?
Every stadium.
So after the no yards penalty, it's a first down Edmonton at the 26. And the handoff inside. That's Alex Taylor with his first touch of the game.
But Chris, we talked earlier about the front four for Edmonton with Boateng. Armando Sewell's made a couple of big plays already tonight. We haven't discussed Charleston Hughes. We haven't even got to Micah Johnson. I mean, this first half, it was a quiet first half for Saskatchewan's front four. When Craig Dickinson talked about intensity, I'm sure he was talking to that group.
2nd and 6. Elamimi in directing some traffic. He's on the blitz. And Tavares Daniels the catch in front of L.J. McCray, and should be enough for a first down.
Take a look at Micah Johnson here. He's, you know, this is a little uncharacteristic, not only of him, but of anyone playing in that over the nose, over the center position, to be in that stand-up 2-point stance, not down with your hand on the ground, to get that great track start. He is so quick in the middle and so hard to handle when he comes out of that stance.
Back from an ankle injury, Craig Dickinson says about 90%. Going to set up the screen here. And it's Greg Ellickson. Elamimi in the tackle around the 45-yard line. So a pickup of close to 7.
2nd and 5 Eskimos.
It's the recipe for success offensively when you can get good yardage on first down.
Call it 6 to the 44. And 2nd and 4.
Little press down here at the bottom.
Harris crosser, big hit. Charleston Hughes unloads on Tavon Smith.
And that's another first down.
Now Tavon Smith will take it if it can move the chains.
Yep.
And he got up and showed you that, because that was a solid, rock solid hit. Both players feet on the ground, and you could see his head snap back. But he got up right away and gave it that first down signal.
Second tackle of the game for Hughes. And now Tavon Smith to the far side, written up by Mike Edom. The Eskimos moving the football here. Another first down.
So you're just settling back into the lazy chair. You got your beverage, you got your popcorn, and here he comes. You're ready to make a tackle. I was lucky he didn't get possible penalty flag there. That extra little push to the ground, well out of bounds. Careful with those.
Mike Edom, one of 9 Roughriders who have started each of the 17 games this season so far. Harris will swing it to the near side. Look out! Purefoy with a big jolt. Ruled incomplete. And that bit of lateral, he was home free.
Well, see, Purefoy knows one thing, that in this coverage, Saskatchewan sends all pressure, so it's man-to-man everywhere, and this is his man. So he reads the bubble screen out there, and he jumps it. Catches Ricky Collins right in the midsection. And quarterback goes right to the receiver immediately and says, that's my bad. You got a DB coming down like that on you. You got to make sure you throw that ball low so the receiver can protect himself.
2nd and 10. And looking downfield and incomplete, close. DeVaris Daniels unable to track that.
You know, there was just a split second where DeVaris Daniels looked at the coverage. He looked at the man covering him. For a split second on the outside here, he's at the single receiver side. Press coverage, Nick Marshall, and watch him just glance back. He glanced back at Marshall to see that he had beat him and lost the ball.
So back-to-back incompletions for Trevor Harris after hitting on 10 of 11. Drive stalls just inside Rough Rider territory.
Can't throw it any better. Can't throw it any better. CC.
And that one will not have a return. Out of bounds close to the 15. And it will be marked at the 16. So long field for Cody Fajardo. We're midway through the 3rd quarter. It remains a 10-point Edmonton lead.
Commentator outdoor clothing is provided by Nobis. Embrace the elements.
Back at Commonwealth, the final home game of the year for the Edmonton Eskimos. Trying to ensure themselves of a 500 season at least. Roughriders trying to take another step towards first in the West, and Kyra Moore got another catch. He's been the prime target tonight.
Yeah, and it's not just from one position either. There's some flags down after the fact.
It looked like Fajardo took a late hit, so they'll tack on more.
First of all, this is
major foul, roughing the passer. Edmonton number 93. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run and a first down.
Sometimes you put air on the ball, sometimes you got to knife it in there, and that's what Fajardo does here. Little forearm shiver there drew the penalty flag.
Mike Moore knocking down Cody Fajardo, and Kwaku Boateng with the shot to the helmet that is ultimately called. First down, Saskatchewan. Edmonton 51. Big pressure. Fajardo got it away. Up for grabs and intercepted. Forrest Hightower has it with a flag down. And whistle apparently had sounded. Let's find out what that flag's all about in the Edmonton secondary.
Larry Dean goes on a blitz, and he puts a hit on Fajardo, who just threw it up there. It almost like he saw something in the secondary, but the way Edmonton is celebrating.
Yeah, it's going to be offensive pass interference, it looks like.
I'm wondering if Fajardo thought he saw DPI and just threw it up to get the call. So it was upgraded from an illegal contact to a DPI because he just threw it up.
Of course, wait a minute. The celebration might have been early. Let's see. The Roughriders are now signaling it's going against Edmonton.
He had Larry Dean bearing down on him. Let's see.
Defensive pass interference. Okay. Edmonton number 0. Point of the infraction. Automatic first down for Saskatchewan.
Yeah, you know, originally Cody Fajardo ran down the field after he got hit by Larry Dean. There's the intended target. He ran down the field as if this was deliberate. I mean, he just threw it up to Kyron Moore because he felt he saw this pass interference right there. I mean, there they are. And he's saying he cut him off and knocked him down. Now, Jason Moss wants the command center to take another look at it.
Well, 3 Eskimo defenders ran off the field celebrating. They thought they got word from an official it was going the other way. And now Jason Moss is going to challenge.
Edmonton is challenging the ruling in the field of defensive pass interference on number 0. The play will be reviewed.
So it's in the hands of the command center. Is it a first down Saskatchewan or an interception and first down Edmonton? Get ready for an all-new episode of the suspenseful hit from Stephen King and J.J. Abrams' Castle Rock, Wednesday at 9 Eastern, only on CTV Sci-Fi Channel. Well, let's find out the verdict. Here's Andre Proulx.
After review by the command center, the ruling on the field stands. Edmonton has charged their final timeout.
Yeah, you know, when I see it in replay a couple of times, I didn't see enough to overturn this call. No clear and obvious mistake was made. Again, the intended receiver is Kyron Moore, number 85. He's going to run straight down the hash marks there. And there is a push from Unava when the ball goes inside there. Now, Kyron Moore really sold it, but I don't think they can overturn that.
Pressure from Unava, and Fajardo throws it away to avoid the sack. Namba bringing the heat again. He had a pair of sacks last week against BC.
Yeah, he was mad from that last call, so he came down and he got the green light to go ahead and take his frustrations out on a quick pass rush and beats William Powell. Fajardo's been under the gun. He's been under pressure tonight.
Talked this week about facing the high-pressure attack of the Eskimos defense. Throws open target. Kyron Moore having a day and a touchdown here. His 6th of the season.
Keep that in. Under pressure all game long. Let's see if he gets pressure here or no. Pretty good protection. Sewell gets there a little bit late, but not in time to prevent the throw, and in behind coverage again. You're right, Chris. Kyron Moore's having a night, and this is a matchup clearly they've game planned for.
Uh-oh, get that boy that chain. Let me see that chain, Swervo. Let me see that chain, Swervo.
Got a big play guy tonight. 8th catch for Moore. Over 100, and now it's a 17-14 game. Eskimos by a field goal.
Get a nigga in the league, guard you. Mama, I told you what up, Pop. Yes, sir.
Jacoby Cofield's going to end up taking Armando Sewell's going to work from this spot and work all the way around, try to get to Cody Fajardo, but he gets there a little bit late because the guys up front are playing in unison. Good gap responsibility, and gets a push and just gives Cody Fajardo enough time to get it out there. And the inside receiver, Kyron Moore, again, they've been playing him all over the place. At short side wide out, wide side wide out. Now he's in at the slot backs position. And he just gets in behind Josh Johnson, who got caught on that short route. It was a zone look, and it looks like Josh Johnson had the outside third responsibility, the deep responsibility, but he got caught up on that intermediate route, and Fajardo made him pay.
Kyron Moore now 9 catches, 140 yards. He's been targeted 11 times tonight. More than the other receivers combined. Good return here. Brian Walker up near the 40-yard line. Christian Jones injured in the first half, so the returners by committee for the Eskimos here in the second half. Now just a 3-point lead for Trevor Harris. .75% efficiency for Harris so far. 18 of 24 for 240. And Fajardo now up to 263 passing yards. First down at the 39, rolls right, got Ricky Collins. Trevor Harris telling us early this year that Ricky Collins was a guy he liked watching when they weren't teammates and thought he would be a special target with Edmonton.
See, this alignment defensively is why You heard Trevor Harris say he trusts in Jason Moss's play calling ability. That's Cameron Judge down the bottom, linebacker lined up, coming off the edge, and they roll away from him. I mean, that's a design call against that formation by Jason Moss to say, hey, go ahead and check it, get outside, and roll away from that pressure.
2nd and 4. And Harris looking for Daniels. McCray takes it away. L.J. McCray's got his 3rd interception of the year. He's been in a battle all night long with Tavares Daniels.
Well, it looks like the Saskatchewan Roughriders got the message from the head coach at the extended halftime, because you heard when Craig Dickinson talked to Ryan about what his message was to the group at halftime. It was a bad first half. The intensity wasn't there. They've turned it up. Front four's playing better. Offensive line now playing better, giving Cody Fajardo some time. And there's the defensive back end, the DBs making their play.
Nick Marshall with an interception in the first half. Now L.J. McCray. Roughriders tied for last in takeaways on defense with only 27 coming in, but a pair of big ones here. And now William Powell to work. Pounds it across the 50 near midfield for William Powell.
There's a couple of ways to combat a strong front four, strong front seven defensively that's putting pressure on your quarterback, and this is one of them. Just attack them. Let the offensive line drive off out of their stance and go and find somebody to hit, open up a hole for your running back. The other is screen drop.
18-yard run and a first down to the 54. They beat Powell again. Crosses midfield and gets drilled back after 3.
Powell across center field. Hit by Larry Bean. 3 on the play. 2nd and 7 for Saskatchewan.
So 2nd and 7 coming up. Saw more of Thigpen in the first half, and now William Powell back-to-back carries, 6 for 31 on the night.
It is just amazing how many times my attention is drawn to number 90 on defense. He just...
Here's Fajardo, sideline pass, and that catch was made, yeah. Josh Johnson disagrees with Shaq Evans right in front of that Edmonton bench, with a lot of green and gold officials waving it off, is able to secure the football.
They're trying to get a next play snapped as quickly as possible. I'm not sure we're going to even have a look that would be able to. It's too late now.
Powell inside, and away he goes. Gets to the outside. Trying to cut back there, and finally dragged down by Nick Usher.
You got to win the line of scrimmage to win football games. Edmonton had the edge both offense and defensively in the line of scrimmage, and it's starting to turn. And it's starting to turn. You know that's offensive line for Saskatchewan is starting to win more than they're losing when William Powell gets going.
19 on that run, 18 earlier in this series. So Powell's engaged. 1st and 10 at the 27. Play action fake. Shaq Evans inside the 15 to the 10 and out around the 6-yard line. It's 1st and goal, Saskatchewan.
Now the O-line's got a little more confidence. Now you got William Powell going. So you get William Powell going on the fake. And now the next step in the play calling progression is to go that fly sweep, the jet sweep outside, or just the basically that little dump pass and the jet sweep look.
1st and goal from the 5. They'll reset. Short drop, looking for Arsenault. Touchdown! It's a Manny Show celebration as Saskatchewan marches into the lead.
Back on the roster after missing a couple of games because Jordan Williams-Lambert, the outstanding rookie for Saskatchewan last year, came back from the NFL tryout and got a chance to get virtually right back on the roster. But Manny Arceau, nothing but a pro when he was sitting out, helping the guys around him on the roster. He was a healthy scratch a couple weeks in a row.
Oh, they're good on the convert. And the Roughriders have a 4-point lead late third quarter. As Manny Arceau's got his second touchdown of the season.
Straight to my hand and
nice play calling in this touchdown drive. First of all, the offensive line gets a chance to fire out of their stance and get some run block going, and William Powell gets established. It was a 6-play drive, went 74 yards, 5 first downs. And once you get that run game going, a little dump pass is going to open up for you. Manny Arceau gets the big play chain, which he invented, and every one of the teammates knows the Manny dance.
First lead of the night for the Roughriders, who are down 14-0. And that touchdown comes off the turnover on the L.J. McCray interception.
Is it just me, or is that the first time ever Manny Arceau was speechless when the camera was right in front of him?
Father kicks it off. And tripped up Taekwon Glass. Eli Buka was down first. Let's go to the sidelines. Here's Ryan.
All right, Chris, let's talk about penalties, and the Eskimos will love us talking about this week. It's an issue that they've been facing. You know, Jason Moss, a little combative with the media this week, faced a lot of questions about it. It's been better here tonight. And I talked to Jason yesterday. The thing that's driving him nuts is the stuff after the whistles. We just saw a little bit of it a couple of plays ago, guys shoving. It's the objectionable conduct stuff that happens after the whistle. He admits his team needs to get better at. Now, with that said, Moss makes it clear. He asks his team to play fast, intense, and violent. And he understands that some penalties are going to result from that. He doesn't want to dull that sharp edge of intensity that his team plays with, guys, so it's a fine line between cutting back on these penalties, but at the same time, Moss believes his team has to play on that edge to have success.
Yeah, it is a fine line. It's an interesting discussion. I know he's sort of was very combative with the media this week, as Ryan mentioned, and you know, I think that's what I've always talked about when it came to the most penalized team, which the Edmonton Eskimos have been this year again under Jason Moss. And the special teams is where you really see the difference in this breakdown. But overall, they're the most penalized team in the league. And in a playoff game, in that semifinal over against Montreal, you get 2 of those after the whistle calls and the 30 yards of penalties. That's it. You're one and done and out. So because it becomes that important, and every yard matters so much more. So the one thing we should say, though, is that Jason Moss has worked all year with his team and benching guys, if he had to, that have been repeat offenders. So he is working at changing the behavior.
First down carry here, Shaq Cooper. Just to complete the thought, he has suggested his team doesn't play as well when they are not ultra aggressive and approaching that line and sometimes crossing it. So here tonight, 3 for 56, and a lot of that yardage on that pass interference call. And maybe he's got a point. Maybe this team, well, not playing as aggressive right now, have surrendered the lead.
Yeah, but I'm with you, Chris. But I think you'll take pass interference. You're going to get a holding call. Those kind of calls are fine. That's part of the game, and play fast and play physical. That's all great. But it's not an intensity issue after the whistle. Right. It's a selfish issue and a bad decision.
That play broken up by Nick Marshall against Tavares Daniels. And right now, that Rough Rider defense playing with some positive aggression.
Yeah, so again, just to wrap up the thought, I mean, the after the whistle penalty where you're trash talking or give a guy an extra shove or punch somebody is being a bad teammate, it's a bad decision, and it's selfish, period. It has nothing to do with intensity or competitive edge. In between the whistles, I'm with Jason Moss. You play right on the edge. What was the late Don Matthews saying? If you're not on the edge, you're taking up too much space.
it away on what should be the final play of this third quarter. It's been a big one for the Roughriders. Thigpen is dropped at the 47-yard line, but once down by 14, the Saskatchewan Roughriders have the lead at three-quarter time.
There's a drink for that.
Well, the game changes in that third quarter. Saskatchewan now with the momentum, and Cody Fajardo on the cusp of another 300-yard game.
Yeah, and William Powell established in that third quarter a little bit more. You know, I think that speech at halftime by Craig Dickinson has made a difference. It looks like the Saskatchewan Roughriders came into this game thinking that the Edmonton Eskimos were just going to sort of lay down and let them have it, and they didn't. They got behind early, and Saskatchewan looked completely different in that third quarter.
Wonder if that extra elongated halftime helped the coaches direct the message?
Well, maybe. I mean, was it Hank? I think Henry said at halftime that it was a Saskatchewan fan that pulled the plug somewhere to get extra time. I'm not sure if that theory will stand up.
But a little home field disadvantage, perhaps. There's Fajardo on a roll and has to throw that one away under pressure. Jovan Santos Knox turned up the heat.
So the bounds and second down 10 now for Saskatchewan.
Well, it was pressure for the first half, and Cody Fajardo was on the run and couldn't settle, couldn't step into throws. That started to change. So Philip Lawley now, the defensive coordinator, you know, in order to get back to where he was in that first half, this is send Larry Dean and Unub on some more linebacker blitzes to see if Saskatchewan will continue to pick them up.
Roughriders 4 for 11 on second down conversions. Here comes the heat, and they get him.
That's how they do it.
He is dropped. Mike Moore gets home. 9th sack of the year for Moore. And the Roughriders will have to kick it away.
I think it was Santos Knox that's going to come on the B-gap blitz. He's in there pretty quickly right here. In fact, he almost jumped offside, but then it's full pressure, and that pocket just collapses on Fajardo. This is how the Edmonton Eskimos, when they're on top of their game, it's because the front four is doing that. Or in that case, the front six.
Third sack for Edmonton, up to 53 on the year. And that moves them back into a tie with Saskatchewan in that category. Roughriders have not registered a sack here tonight. Like one Glass on the return. Jorgen Hughes will drop him. Coverage of the MLS Cup playoffs continue on TSN next week, featuring the red-hot Toronto FC with their eyes on the prize, following an upset victory of the East top seed NYCFC when they battle Atlanta for a spot in the MLS Cup. Catch the action Wednesday at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Got an injured Saskatchewan Roughrider. Mike Edom, we're told, is the injured player. And they check his right knee. Mentioned one of 9 to start every game for the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year. The Eskimos with only 7 starters for every game so far this season. Let's track what happened.
Looks like he's, again, friendly fire, just knee on knee there.
So Jacob Dearborn likely to come on. See if he can get some weight on it. No, it's going to be Buka. Eli Buka will move into that spot. And Edom trying to run it off.
See what adjustments Jason Moss does offensively if they're going to go try and test Buka at that safety spot. Maybe look at a couple of deep throws. Trevor Harris had 209 yards in the first half, just 55 passing in that third quarter.
No touchdown passes, 2 interceptions.
It's tough to isolate the safety, but you can send the all-go and see if you can get him to bite on a crossing route.
Harris steps up over the middle, got Ellingson. Buka first contact, and then Cameron Judge helps bring him to the turf. 14-yard pickup, first down, and there's Christian Jones on crutches after an injury on a kick return in the first half. First down, Esks at the 51. McCarty in motion to help lead the block for Shaq Cooper. Spun off Ed Geaney and into Rough Rider territory around the 54-yard line, so close to 5.
Yeah, you look back to the last 5,000-yard seasons by Greg Ellingson, and his chemistry with Trevor Harris, and before that Henry Burns. But Trevor Harris of late, he's got 5 catches for 56 yards, but this is when you're looking for 82 if you're Trevor Harris in these situations, and he's right over here on the short side of the field.
Second down, rolling, and that's exactly what he did. You in the huddle? 6th catch of the game for Greg Ellingson.
Well, when you have that chemistry, I mean, our quarterbacks on the panel have talked about it many times, and it's like they understand without saying a word exactly how he's going to come out of his break. So as long as the ball is on time and in the right spot, it's almost impossible to defend.
Double tight end, and they go back to Cooper. Bounced off one, but then is brought to the turf. Some heavy sledding down there, and L.J. McCray finished it off and wants to get in Cooper's ear about it.
You know, whether it's Fajardo on a spin move or Cooper on a spin move, this is why coaches are a little leery of the spin move, because this can happen. You turn your back to a player, and the next guy up you don't see coming. So that can be a massive hit.
Been a huge day for McCray. He's got an interception, 7 tackles. E.C. Leonard shaken up on that last play, and he heads to the sidelines. It's been a punishing night.
And they'll do it all again next week, last week of the regular season, these two teams.
Now the Eskimos might rest guys.
Yeah.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders won't have that luxury. Here's Devon Smith, grabbed that off his shoe tops. That was a sure-handed play by Devon Smith.
Great catch. I'm not sure. I don't think he got there from first down, but it was a quick blitz by Derek Moncrief that forced that throw, and Devon Smith goes down low to get it.
3rd and a couple, maybe a little less. And Sean White's come on. And he's going to attempt a 46-yarder. Trying to get him within 1. And he's missed. So his streak ends at 25, and here comes Thigpen. Marcus Thigpen past the first wave, but then he gets taken down on a heavy tackle. So it remains 21-17 Saskatchewan. Well, we mentioned Cody Fajardo's the league passing leader and number 2 all-time in his debut season with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Look at that guy at the top.
Andrew Burr's looking pretty intense himself. Former teammate there, Joe Paopao, now the OC for Ottawa. Boy, at 747, Joe Adams was a different cat, wasn't he?
There's some stories to be told, but,
yes, there are.
But not on air. Here's Fajardo. Yeah, look at that on target. Naaman Roosevelt's got the catch up at the 35-yard line. He threw that a long way and right on the money.
Yeah, he did. It was to a spot. He knew exactly where Roosevelt was going to end up on this. And he fades away to it. He's right out here as the wide receiver, and he's going to throw it, Cody, to this spot, and he'll just let his receiver just get there. He's throwing it right now as he comes out of his break and runs all the way to the sideline to reel it in.
Fajardo over 300, 6-time this season. William Powell drags some would-be tacklers up close to the 40-yard line. Near 5.
Tackled by number 90, Armando Seawell. Second and 7 now for the Riders.
A couple more first downs. Stephen McAdoo's group can get that field position edge halfway through the 4th quarter with the lead. That's goal number 1, you would think, right now for the Riders offensively. Make sure you can move it in. Even if you punt it away, you get the field position edge.
That costume makes sense when the wind chill's -7. Here's Powell over the backfield, got a first down, driven back by Larry Dean. But that moves the chains. You know, you mentioned something to me before the game, whether or not Cody Fajardo might have some nerves the first time he stepped on the field after signing a new contract. You wonder, sometimes he's talked to us about being nervous early until he gets into the flow of things.
Absolutely.
He's into it now.
Oh, absolutely. I think he was. And in fact, he said he was nervous in his first practice after signing the deal this week.
Now going to take a shot for Evans with a flag. Evans has got it. Now what's the flag? Was it pass interference defensively or the other way?
Illegal contact on receiver, Edmonton number 26. That penalty will be declined. Result of the plays at first down for Saskatchewan.
So another big play for Shaq Evans, who's been in an all-night-long duel with John Johnson.
Let's put him in the spotlight right here. There's Shaq Evans up against Josh Johnson. And away they go. Let's take a look where that contact happens. Past 5 yards, the double move. Evans got there anyway.
6 100-yard game for Evans this season. William Powell's got it again. And Powell breaks through the first wave down to the 20-yard line. So he's got 7.
Take a look at Saskatchewan's #1 receiver one more time. After the illegal contact, he's hustling down to make that catch. Safety coming from the middle is able to catch it, reel it in, and absorb the hit.
2nd and 3. Fake to Powell. Fajardo. He's going to get cut off by Yanamba. Boy, did Don Yanamba close quickly to shut that down.
Important stop there. Very important play by Yanamba.
Just the 2nd rush of the game for Fajardo.
They're going to attempt a field goal here, and if they make it, it stays that 1-possession game for Edmonton. He steps up in the line, and then you're right, comes out of a cannon to close.
They're on, attempting a 30-yarder, trying to make it a 7-point Rough Rider lead. Nails that. 24-17. A surging Saskatchewan Roughrider team in the 2nd half.
Coors Light answering the call. Cody Fajardo, slow start, but he's been coming on in the 2nd half. 20-28, 359, a couple of touchdown passes. Charleston Hughes, no sacks, but overall Saskatchewan's defense has been stronger. The Eskimos yet to score a point in the 2nd half, and they're down by 7. Let's go back to Chris and Glenn.
trot. Trevor Harris and the Eskimos will scrimmage from the 35-yard line after the field goal, down by a touchdown. Harris going through the reads. Anybody open? Going to throw that away. Sure, if it wasn't tipped, Mike Adams back in that Saskatchewan defense.
Okay.
Oh, we won't tell anybody.
You know what? Your secret's safe with us.
Yep.
I love it.
Hubby might be a Mosaic at the hockey game tonight, so he wouldn't know.
This isn't my husband. Go Riders. Classic.
Secret safe, 2nd and 10. Gunned over the middle, and the catch is made. That's a first down grab. Ricky Collins at the 46-yard line.
Well, lots of time here, and for sure, Trevor Harris and Jason Moss don't have to veer too far from their original game plan. Just get back to it. Good fundamentals. That's good throw and catch. Curl over the middle right in front of the linebackers.
Collins at 99 yards receiving on 5 catches tonight. Nice play fake, and Tavon Smith can't make that catch.
Yeah, just a little bit behind him, but you know, this one is going to be a 50-50 when they watch it again on video. They're going to go back, and Trevor will say, yeah, I put it a little behind you, and then, you know, Tavon Smith's going to say, yeah, but I relaxed and thought that, you know, this isn't practice or warm-up. You got to, even if you have to put the brakes on, stop, pick that ball up, catch it, see if you can make a guy miss. They'll share the blame on that one.
2nd and 10. And Micah Johnson encroached. Was he drawn? They're pointing at each other. And did somebody flinch on that Eskimo line?
It's an important call. It's just a 5-yard penalty. But 2nd and 15, completely different than 2nd and 5. Here's my Captain Obvious moment.
Offside. Saskatchewan number 4. 5-yard penalty. Will replay 2nd down.
Cameron Judge was trying to time up a blitz there.
Playbook a little.
Yeah. Opens
bigger.
it up now. Yep.
Gray Marshall swaps sides.
Changing the play on the line.
And off to Shaq Cooper. Kicks it outside. First down Edmonton, and he'll run out around the 40-yard line. 17 on that carry for number 25.
A lot of change on the fly going on here for both teams. First of all, Trevor Harris called the audible to go to this run play, something he saw up front that he liked. Secondly, Ed Gainey then tried to change the defense, and they had guys in the secondary moving all over the place before the snap of the ball.
On Edmonton, first down. Pressure coming. And gets it in the hands of Natea Jay. And dropped at the 39. Ball popped loose. I'm not sure if that's a live football or not. Gainey says Saskatchewan's got it. Jay was down, and then all of a sudden they were scrambling for it. Jay doesn't look too concerned, but let's find out. Going to be 2nd down.
Well, was he down before the ball was stripped out of there?
Well, that ball looks like it's coming out. Looking at the sidelines to see if Saskatchewan's tempted.
Going to use their challenge.
Greg Dickinson poised.
Well, I don't know from that angle.
No,
did he lose control?
Take the chance. I think it was just starting to slide out. Now on 2nd down, Cooper is stuffed, and it'll be 3rd down. And Deshaun White come out and try another 45-ish yard field goal.
See, I liked the decision last time to kick the field goal attempt, and that was just missed by Sean White, but I think this time you go.
Yeah, with 3 minutes to go, the field goal doesn't help you now that it's a 7-point Saskatchewan lead. And we're at the 3-minute warning here. Big third down play coming up when we return.
Lucky, the brand new single from Jade Eagleson. Listen now on Spotify.
Well, Jason Moss rolling the dice here, or one could argue maybe he doesn't have a choice. Maybe it's not a gamble. Maybe it's just what you got to do here on 3rd down and 4.
You know, even if it was 4 minutes, 4:30, you might try the field goal, get the ball back at least maybe even 2 more times. But at this point, I think this is the way to go. You got to go for it.
There we go. Wide side, got Ellingson, got the first down. Why wouldn't you go to him?
Yeah.
7th catch of the game.
Absolutely. And this is the right call against the coverage, too, because that's called a cut coverage where the corner's up tight and the halfback is deep. And that's Luchez Purefoy. He's got deep outside 3rd coverage there. So he's got to let Ellingson run this out and hope that his corner, L.J. McRae, falls underneath it and he didn't get outside far enough.
Both quarterbacks over 300 yards. Harris at 303 on the night. And a handoff inside to Cooper. Down to the 19.
So in the just-in-case scenario, if you're Jason Moss right now and you score major, you already know where you're going in the playoffs. Are you going for 2?
I hear you.
Are you going for 2, or are you kicking it and making it a tie game? Just if they do get to the goal line and score.
I'd say that's a tougher decision if it happened in the final 30 seconds, but with 2 minutes to go, would they do that or not? We might find out. Here's a J. L.J. McRae.
Quick close.
Boy, he's been active tonight, hasn't he?
A good game for the secondary in Saskatchewan, especially the second half, but interception by Nick Marshall. McRae has an interception. New set of downs for Trevor Harris. He wants to calling him on the line now.
Can make a first down without scoring a touchdown from the 12. Bouncing around, goal line, touchdown, Tavon Smith. And now we'll find out. Do you go for 2 or do you kick the tie?
Conventional wisdom says you tie the game, you extend it, give your defense a chance to get the 2 and out, and you know, who knows, maybe you got time to set up for field goal. But I don't know, I just thought I'd throw it out there. It's one of those ones you discuss with your buddies in the pub.
Well, they're 13 of 16 on 2-pointers, so. Excuse me, they're not. They're not. That's an incorrect stat. And the convert is good, so the game is tied. About 1:48 to go and a lot to sort out down the stretch here in this critical game in the battle for first in the West.
I feel like burning up the afternoon. It's a summertime weekend.
Second last week of the regular season, the headline stories. Zach Collaros last night. How about Brandon Banks? That might be the MOP performance. And McLeod Bethel-Thompson is likely going to lead the Canadian Football League in touchdown passes this year. And hats off to Michael O'Connor, the young Canadian kid with the touchdown pass in that Argo victory over the Red Blacks. On one hop, here comes Purefoy. And Tanner Green with the tackle. We have a flag down on the play. And also Alex Taylor's been shaken up on that kick cover team.
Yeah, this is an illegal block, and it appears like it will be.
During the return, holding Saskatchewan number 93, a 10-yard penalty, first down.
That is in the all-time bad timing department for taking a penalty.
Yeah,
right there.
Chad Jeter. That lengthens the field. So it's a long way from a field goal, and if you're stopped quickly, the Eskimos get good field position the other way, and Greg Dickinson's going to have a chat with Jeter.
Greg Dickinson explaining to Jeter exactly what I just said.
Alex Gagne getting some help to the sidelines for the Roughriders, and Saskatchewan will start at their 6.
There's the reminder. See where we're starting now?
That's a tough meeting to have, but
you got to
rest right away.
You got to have it, absolutely.
Fajardo needs about 65 for field goal range, and they start with an incompletion. That slant that usually is so effective, incomplete to Shaq Evans.
That's a monster down here, because the quick 2-0, Saskatchewan's got to kick it away basically, and that's instant field position for Edmonton.
Big play coming up.
Shaq Evans in the slot, at least to start.
And that pass is caught and on the money for a clutch first down.
Talk about trust. Trust between quarterback and receiver at a premium there, because the ball is thrown before Naaman Roosevelt comes out of his break, and he is covered well by Money Hunter.
Team leader in second down conversion catches. Fajardo got Roosevelt again up over the 35-yard line. Another Saskatchewan first down. Back-to-back for Naaman Roosevelt.
Roosevelt's coming right down the seam here, left. Fajardo's got to wait just that extra second. He's going to take a hit because he's got to get his receiver into that hole. Roosevelt sees the hole out of his stance, or out of the motion to the line of scrimmage, and he gets there.
First down, Fajardo out of the pocket, and he's just going to throw that away to avoid any loss of yardage. Fajardo at 389, second highest output of the season for him. And a 430-yard passing game against Ottawa. Another big second down, but what they've done is improve field position and taken time off the clock here. These two teams have gone to overtime 6 times in their history. Second and 10. And he's on the money for Evans. And the Roughriders will stay on the field on offense. And now they're getting close to field goal range.
Put Shaq Evans inside so he can go 2 ways here on Money Hunter. He gets that inside step, so he's on the inside shoulder, and Hunter just trips up on his heel, giving him a little bit of room to the outside. Fajardo put it right on him.
Evans at 174 yards, and Fajardo over 400 for the second time this season. And now, over the middle, he's got another completion to Kyron Moore, who was his favorite target early in this game, and they are on the fringe of Lowther field goal range here. Hard to judge win, but it would be 47 right now. They'll try and get a little bit closer.
Yeah, I think you're trying to get a little closer here and not worrying about just killing the clock and getting it to the middle just yet.
Moore doesn't have the biggest numbers, but boy, he has has been clutch in this game. Short drop and another completion. This time Corey Watson underneath, brought down by Brian Walker.
How about the composure? Quarterback in his 16th start of his career. Started this one inside his own 10-yard line and is now in field position to win it.
Cashing his paycheck tonight.
That new paycheck that just got a lot bigger.
.430 the career high. He's at .429.
Now they'll get it to the middle. It
doesn't look like they're going to pass again.
No. Now they get it to the middle and they'll bring Lawther out.
And work the clock, and 5 seconds remaining. Going to be a 42-yard attempt for Lawther.
Which is not a chip shot.
No, not in these conditions.
There's some work to be done here, and it's not a chip shot. This is, especially with the football being cold. We saw Sean White miss one that he makes in his sleep.
But they drove the ball 69 yards to get into this position. And a walk-off last night in Winnipeg. Can Lawther author the seam script? Up, down the middle. It's good. It's a walk-off for the Roughriders, and they're 2 points closer to first in the West. Roughriders erase an early 14-0 deficit. Big second half, big closing drive, and a huge Brett Lawther kick.
Cody Fajardo just signs a brand new contract extension. Showed some nerves early, settled in a 70-yard drive to set up the game-winning field goal with no time on the clock, and Saskatchewan controls their own destiny. They can win one more next week against Edmonton at home and take first in the division.
9 plays to get them into field goal range, some clutch second down conversions along the way in the final home game for the Edmonton Eskimos in 2019. What a performance. Cody Fajardo at 429 passing yards. The Nissan Titan player of the game brought to you by the Nissan Titan, ranked #1 in quality by J.D. Power.
Well, a lot of honorable mentions here tonight. Shaq Evans had a great game. Kyron Moore, though, he was making catches when the team wasn't playing well in the first half, and Edmonton had the edge and the momentum in that first half and a 14-point lead. He was still doing his thing, so we're going to give it to Kyron Moore. And again, honorable mention to Cody Fajardo, especially after that basically 70-yard drive. But Kyron Moore, a big night for him tonight.
12th win for Saskatchewan. They've got a home playoff date, but they're concerned about hosting the Western Final, and they can nail that down with another win next week against the Eskimos back at Mosaic. Felt like a playoff battle here tonight. Next Friday, the final week of the regular season kicks off with the Montreal Alouettes and the Ottawa Red Blacks. Good one here tonight, 27-24. Roughriders win it so long from Commonwealth. Here comes SportsCenter.